Hey man, how you? You're on before me. um, I'm sure you're a bit happier now that you got your hands on the little Strokeman exclusives. A bit of a shame that they didn't quite last long enough to at least see out half of the weekend. It's pretty crazy. Just wondering if Lego maybe slightly underestimated demand. I think it does say a lot though for how much we have been crying out for a Lego store in Northern Ireland for quite some time. Oh man, that sounds fun. What's the cause for that? Is it difficulty hearing, or like a sort of balance issue, or something like that? Or to be honest with you, £49 not too bad. I know obviously you'd like to have gotten it free, with all the other purchase, but I think in the grand scheme of things, given how much I know some of the other ones have went for in the aftermarket, £40 really isn't too bad. Especially getting the extra tile as well. That's very cool. It's a really neat wee set. I am honestly surprised that they didn't have more. But like I said, demand was pretty crazy. The queues on Thursday were pretty intense. So like, so you did a wee bit of bargaining then. It's always nice when you get a wee bit cheaper than people are asking. I suppose at the end of the day, for the person selling it, £40 is still pretty decent. And like, I don't think it was a terribly high or unrealistic threshold to get the gift first. I think £135 is pretty reasonable. Like, it's fairly easy to sort of build up that total, without having to get too much. But at the same time, it is just very disappointing, I suppose, isn't it, for yourself and everyone else that wasn't able to pick it up on the day, as a gift. But I suppose if you try and take the positives from it, it just obviously means that there's a lot of people down in the store, and kind of all bodes well for for the future and sort of Lego in the country. My suspicion is, that, like I said, they probably just got slightly caught out by how much demand there was. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't really looked into it yet. Honestly, over time, I think they become more valuable as anyone that sort of wants to sell theirs off gets rid of them. Then the demand sort of starts to spike a wee bit more for them. There is a lot of people that do like to collect all of those tiles. I do know quite a few people from sort of around the UK and beyond that that do like to collect them. So there is absolutely a market for them, and I suppose if it helps offset, what you had to pay to get the ribbon cutting set, then so I'm not one of these people that gets butthurt about people sort of getting stuff and selling it on. I know it's annoying for anyone that doesn't get it, but at the same time, if it wasn't for resellers, then a lot of stuff might never be available to people, especially things that retire and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'd say you could. Oh, I wouldn't like to put a price on it, but I don't think £30 would be unrealistic over time anyway. But again, I'll just kind of maybe let the whole sort of buzz die down a wee bit first. And wait until they've kind of all been 100% handed out and they're all gone. So yeah, just for anyone tuning in, we're carrying on actually with a build we started last week. So it's oh, my computer keeps going off on me. Excuse me, it is set number 10332, I think. It's the medieval town square then from the Lego Icons range. So we're kind of on to the second booklet. So we've got one half of the model all built. I'll give it a wee overview of it in a wee minute or two, and just sort of want to get kind of started here and get building a little bit. And then I'll give a wee overview of sort of what we've got done up to now. And yes, we're just starting on then to the second booklet, which kind of takes you into like the second half of the build, I suppose. It essentially is Market Square that's split into sort of two sort of building sets, which sort of hints together to make one big cohesive building, or you can sort of unhinge them to create more of a facade style. So it's very good. I've sort of been enjoying the build so far. We also did like a little sort of tree and stuff like that, you know, just to create a wee bit of bit of interest and sort of add a bit of colour and a bit of scenery to the build as well. So I'll let you have a wee look at all that in a moment or two. Hey, Collector's Peak. Haven't got any views yet. I'm actually struggling to actually work out what's going on because I use my computer to sort of track everything, and my computer keeps turning itself off. But the set is called Medieval Town Square 100332. Then it's the Lego Icon set. So yeah, we're sort of a good chunk of the way through it. Then we're well into the second booklet. I think it is the second of three. I think this kind of. No, it's not correct. It's the second of two, so we're on the second half of the build, really, I suppose. So we're progressing nicely with it. It's really good. There isn't an enormous amount of detail on the internal of the buildings. Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate it. Yeah, I do have a pretty stupid collection, to be honest, with a lot of sets. I don't mind spending the money, like it's a hobby, and I don't do a huge amount else other than maybe play a bit of football, so I could be doing a lot worse, spending money on a lot worse. So, but I do absolutely appreciate the support. Thank you very much for tuning in. Channel is still fairly new. I'm not sort of massively sort of intent on growing it. I think for me, I moved house, built a house, moved into my new house, had a garage with all my sets in, and hey Richard Almeida, how are you? Thanks for popping by. Yeah, I built a house and we moved into it last October, and sort of all my sets prior to that were in storage, in lots and lots of brown boxes, and I was really struggling to motivate myself to do anything with them. I thought, you know what, I'll just start unboxing them, I'll record myself unboxing them, and it should hopefully motivate myself to get through it all. And I have thankfully unboxed my entire collection. It's all very neatly set up now, sort of in my Lego room. I intend then to sort of build it out into a nice big layout and sort of utilize as much of what I have as possible. So this is my third stream. So I started last Friday, and I had a wee bit of sort of sneaky me time during the week, and did another little stream then. So yeah, we're not progressing super fast, but we're kind of getting through it at a decent enough pace. It's not the most challenging of builds, I must say, but it's quite good. I'll let you have a look at it here actually. So this is where my camera ability lets me down massively when I'm trying to show things up close. So this is the sort of building that we're working on at the minute, or the building that we were last working on. So I think this is like an armory, or an inn perhaps, or something like that. So there's a little bit of internal detail. It's actually one of the more detailed internals, this one. So you can see obviously downstairs we've got like a little bench and all in there. I've got a chessboard. If you can see that, the lighting's not fantastic. Chessboard, and then we've got like a little keg there with mead or ale or something in it. And then upstairs is the kitchen, with all sorts of food and cooking equipment, and this nice little stove over here with the wood cache and stuff at. So, and then we have this little build here. So this was the last bit that I actually completed. So it's a little tree. So like I said, it's a market set. So I suppose the intention is that there's like a little sort of scenic area with the markets all around it. So they've got this cool little tree here with a little lime green frog, and then I've got some. These are all stickers. I've got a Beware Dragon sticker here, and then a wanted sticker and a goat for sale sticker on this side as well. So it's quite a nice tree. It's not a huge amount to it, but I like sort of how the trunk has been built up. And yeah, it's just made with these here limb pieces and a few of the smaller limb pieces and whatnot. So that's quite good. And then this is the other side then, which I break every time I lift it. So it's going to be a little bit harder to display because it's slightly bigger, but we'll see how I get on here. So yeah, this is the other side that I finished previously. So yeah, there's two little huts on either side. One is a cheesemaker, so this is a cheesemaker over here. And you can see, oh no, that's not, sorry, that's the tapestry maker, a tapestry person. So you can see inside there, they've been working on a nice tapestry, which is a shout out to an old jousting set, and it has the yellow Lego castle and stuff in there as well. Not so much detail in there, but a few little bits and pieces. And then this is the cheesemaker's hut here. Again, I could take the roof off, I suppose, it's quite hard to see in there, but just a little stove with a few pots and stuff on it, and bits of cheese, and yeah, it's quite nice. There's no upstairs in either of them, just sort of big eaves. And then we've just got that nice bit of detail out the back there with the trough and a few of the animals. Does the second building connect to these other sets? In essence it does. It's designed sort of in multiple parts, like I said. So this is kind of one half of the build that I just showed you, and then the bit that I'm building at the minute will be the other half. So they have the hinge bricks on, and then each of the sort of individual builds within each side all hinge together, so you can have them closed up like that one in the back, or you can open them out. So yeah, I don't know how much detail. There's like a watchtower and stuff on this other side as well, and I'm not sure what the other building is, but so at the minute we're just kind of working on a little bit of rock work here, which is nice. Sort of building up a nice kind of foundation on this platform. So I don't know if this is maybe here. No, don't worry, go on ahead. Thank you very much for tuning in, and cheers for the sub and all as well. I do appreciate it. Hopefully you can pop back in some other time before this build is finished. But take care anyway. Thank you. Cheers. I wouldn't exactly claim to be the best at this, but I'm having a bit of fun, so that's all that really matters. And we're creeping up the subs okay, we're not doing too bad. The light is just hitting that page a wee bit there, it's a bit annoying actually. I'm sorry if that's difficult to see. I actually just realised there's a minifigure at the start of this section that I forgot to build, so I'm just going to go back and do that very quickly. Okay, so this is we have a painter. So nothing spectacular really from a torso point of view, but a nice little head. I'll let you have a look now. It's the little lady has two different faces. So this is her anyway. You can see there's a little painter. She's got her little color palette, and a paintbrush. Got a couple of different color paintbrushes here, so I don't know if you can sort of interchange them. Hiya Carol, how are you? Thanks for dropping by. So yeah, you can see here she has this nice sort of squinty face here. She's obviously getting a very up close and personal with her painting and concentrating very hard on what she's doing. And then on the other side, sort of a bit of a more muted tone. There's a little bit of printing on the back as well, just a bit of detail and like the sort of rear of the belt as well. And then we just have her hairpiece then, so she just has a standard hairpiece. Just nice brown locks. So very good. Thank you, Carol, I appreciate it. It's always nice to get good feedback. And how's your Friday night? Is it nice to get another week out of the way, isn't it? So yeah, we're just building up this nice wee bit of sort of rock work here on the base of this set. So there's an anvil in here, so I don't know if this is maybe going to be some sort of a blacksmith or something like that, perhaps. I suppose we'll see as we get through the build of that. Coming around the front then, we've got a bit more rock work over here. So I've had a really, really fun week. I don't know if anyone knows or if anyone is kind of from around the area that I'm from, but I am from Northern Ireland, and we actually had our very first Lego store in the country open yesterday, and that opened in Belfast, and so I was very lucky. I got invited down to the preview evening on the Wednesday night, so I got to go in and sort of experience the store before it opened, which was fab. I really, really, really enjoyed that, and it was nice to get in and meet like lots of other sort of Lego fans. And you know, this is, like I said, with the closest Lego store to me at the minute would be in Dublin, which is in Southern Ireland, which isn't too far away, but it's a different country essentially, and a different currency, so it's not ideal. And like prior to 3 years ago, we didn't have any in the end of Ireland at all, so at that point I had to cross water to get anywhere near a Lego store. So I've kind of been waiting for this moment for such a long time, and it was announced like months ago, and yeah, I've just been sort of buzzing for the whole experience. So yeah, I got invited down to the preview, which was really cool. Really enjoyed that. Picked up some sets. I'm not going to tell you what, because you might just tune into my future videos, I don't know. And I plan on doing a wee sort of haul video, as well as a little overview of the store itself. So I'm not going to sort of divulge any information in terms of what I got, but I picked up a few sets, got some awesome store opening gift purchases, which are really neat because they're exclusive to that store, with the store's brand and stuff on it. So I got that, and just had a really good time. Like I said, the preview evening was particularly good because yeah, we had a time slot, we got straight in, we went about our business, and it was fun. Whereas the actual store opening day itself, which was yesterday, so I had to work in the morning, so I had to work in the morning, to go into work for like an hour in the morning. So I wasn't actually able to get down to the centre that the store is in until about, I know it was about 10:10. So I joined the queue at 10:10. The store officially opened for the first time at 9:30. And I joined the queue at 10:10, and I queued for literally just shy of 4 hours. I think I was in for about just after 2, about 2 or maybe 2 o'clock-ish. So it was a really, really long queue. I brought my 2 children down with me. So we had a nice wee day actually together. But then at the end of it all, yes, we managed to get into the store and got a load of goodies and picked up a load of sets. In fact, one of the sets that I wanted had already sold out, which was really annoying. It was just a small one. It was one of the one-piece gifts, or one-piece brickheads, the Luffy one. So he was sold out already, which was pretty crazy. But yeah, there was just such an immense crowd there, and it was really good. So I had a really, really good time. Really enjoyed it. So sort of on a wee bit of a Lego high actually coming into the weekend. But I don't think I'll be back down in too much of a hurry. I think sort of I did quite well there over the last couple of nights. Yeah, and I'm sort of really happy with what I managed to pick up. So but it's just really nice, like I said, to have a Lego store close by that I'm able to sort of go and enjoy. And the other bonus was, and this probably won't mean much to a lot of people, but it does to me because I'm building a layout. But the pick a brick or pick and build wall, whatever it's called now, is actually really good. A lot better than a lot of the pick and brick walls that I've seen in stores of late. It's a good size, and it's really, really well packed out. At the minute, really good parts. I know the parts will change regularly, but just the size of it and the amount of parts that will be available was a massive bonus. I would have went down to the store in Dublin from time to time, but I don't really like the pick and build wall there. Pick and build, pick a brick, whatever you want to call it now. It doesn't present a huge amount of choice, and B, it's generally somewhat disappointing in a selection. So yeah, that in itself was a major bonus. The only sort of thing that disappointed me a little bit about it was there was no sort of models, no models for unique to Belfast. I thought they might have had some landmarks or something like that, sort of showcased in the store upon opening. But there wasn't any of that, which was a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is, and it's not going to sort of make too much of a difference. So I've just added a little bit more to this. I've now come to the conclusion that that's probably not an anvil, and that this is actually the little painter's hut. And it's just a bit sloppy. We've got paint all over the floor there in various colours. And I don't know what we're building up here, maybe an easel or something. So this is just going to join on now to the other section of the building. Like I said, these hinge up then, so you can close them over. And I know it doesn't really make sense because you've in essence got two completely different stores back to back here. But it'll present quite nicely, externally if you don't sort of worry too much about the insides. But yeah, I suppose it is a bit silly in that regard, but I suppose not everyone's going to display it that way. If you really wanted to, I guess you could do a bit of work on it yourself and sort of build it up a wee bit and make it into something a little bit more. Yeah. I'll just finish this last wee bit here then. I've got a lot of spare pieces. And there we go, so that's the end of that bag. So we'll move on to the next bag then. Having these spurs. They're hiding in the back here somewhere. Oh, there they are. Nice little selection of spare pieces building up here. What's quite good about that one is you get two extra paintbrushes. So if I do have a little bit of a scene somewhere in my layout with maybe like a painter's or an artist's gallery or something like that, then I've got a few extra paintbrushes there that I can throw in the mix, so that's nice. So we'll move on then to bag number 18. I think we've got about 10 or so bags to go, so we're really rattling through. So first up then, so we're just continuing on really with the artist's side of this build. Presumably getting it up to the same sort of level as the building on the other side. Don't know how well you can see that there. My space here isn't great. I'm sort of looking at rejigging things at some point. I've actually been another local creator that I'm hoping hoping to start doing some joint streams with. If there's any Simpsons fans out there, we kind of discussed at the Lego store opening. We were both down together and we discussed maybe sort of linking up because I don't want to give too much away, but we both have a set that he picked up actually on the night and that I still have boxed and waiting to be built. And we're considering building a set together on a live stream, and then just sort of having a bit of a chat and a bit of crack. So yeah, that should be fun. Hopefully I can get this all sort of completed prior to that, because I'd like to get this building finished. So, and then obviously I just need a little bit of help, I suppose, trying to come up with a way to integrate this into my layout. The layout itself is still a work in progress. If you do flick through any of my my videos, I have a playlist actually of all my videos. I have a couple of different series is going at the moment, but one of them is unboxing my entire collection. So basically what I've been doing is just working my way through my whole collection, which was sort of previously boxed up for moving it about. So I'm getting the whole collection unboxed initially, and then I want to sort of get my tables and all built up and kind of start working on my layout. So my intention is to have one section of the layout which will be a little medieval town, and I kind of thought this would be a great little set to include within that. Obviously it's a little medieval market square, so it really fits the brief. And you know, for the likes of me who's not super creative, it represents a really good way to sort of get some buildings kind of into the layout, and then something that I can sort of expand on and build out from. So I have the Len Knight's Castle as well, which will sort of be like the main sort of focal point of the town. And then we'll have a little sort of medieval market square in the foreground. I don't know exactly how the layout's going to take shape, but we'll have a little medieval market square anyway, which obviously this will be. And I want like a little train station in it, because I'm going to have sort of trains running throughout my layout, and I thought I'd have a nice little sort of old style, probably just a platform. It's just going to be very small areas. It's more an impression of a town rather than an entire town, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I think that's kind of the best way to sort of build this particular set into a layout. But I'm absolutely open for ideas on how to integrate it and how to sort of make it sort of blend in seamlessly with the rest of the layout, which will be sort of built up more from sort of traditional style sort of buildings. Just got a wee sticker to pop on here, so I'm just going to get my old brick separator out, and I like to use the brick separator to put these on. It just gives you a wee bit of control, and if something goes wrong, you've got like a get out of jail free card, because you can just peel it back like so. There we go. And then that just pops onto the wall here, so it's a nice, I'll let you have a wee look at it. It's just a wee picture of a knight on the horse. I don't know where that knight fits into this set or this story, but that's him. So that just goes onto the wall in this lady's room. And I think that's everything there. And there's a couple of shields here as well, which are very neat. Alright, and now we're just building up the staircase a little bit, so. I feel like I'm missing something here. So the staircase must take you up to the watchtower then. And what I will say is, the whoever it is that will be accessing this watchtower doesn't have a lot of space. It's only 2 stories wide, so it's quite a tight little staircase. So good luck to them. Won't be the easiest one to sort of get up and into. There's some strange little sections to this build I don't entirely understand. There's a few little gaps and stuff like that. I don't know if at some point in the future of the build it'll become sort of prevalent as to why they're there, but building up the walls. This is probably the least exciting of all the walls. Most of the other ones are quite decorative, they're very cheer in style. And they have sort of nice vertical and horizontal paneling, which I think is really interesting and it's done in a really good way. Whereas this is just more of a grey wall, but I think that's more sort of aligned to the function of this particular building. I think obviously this is a watchtower, so it's not built with prettiness or anything in mind. It's more of a more functional, I suppose. Alright, and then this little sort of structure in the middle, and we're building up a little bit more. I'm not sure what this is meant to be. Maybe like a support, some sort of building support or something, I don't know. We'll see. Has a nice wee flower on the inside of it anyway. So bring a wee bit of colour to this, otherwise a grey building. And yeah, it's just a wee archway comes across here, so it's just a bit of support, I suppose, for the top floor and the roof. Alright, so we're going back to the outside then. I'm just going to close that up. Back to the outside then, just to continue building up this watchtower. Oh, I've missed a piece. I seem to be missing a piece here. Oh, there. So yeah, I kind of was facing a major dilemma down at the Lego store opening. I really wasn't sure what to get. And there was no gift with purchases aside the official store opening one. Now that was reason enough to spend the money. I didn't really want to spend too much more than I had to, you know, because it's not the most efficient way to buy Lego really. So I was sort of trying to think of a few smaller sets to pick up, and I was struggling a little bit, I'm not going to lie. I ended up buying a big one, but it was in double points, and that's kind of a sweetener enough. I know like double points happen quite frequently, but it just aligned really nicely, I suppose, for me on that particular evening. And I kind of thought, you know what, this is the one I'm going to get. It's one that I have wanted since it came out, to be fair. well be, like I said, I've got a wee bit of sort of vlog footage from my preview evening, and I'll hopefully get that all edited together, and I'm out on Sunday evening, and I will have a little haul video in that, so we'll get to see what it was I bought sort of across all the days. I think I did really well. I'm really happy with what I got. Because if you've watched any of my other videos, you'd probably argue that I don't need any more, but we don't really buy things because we need them, do we? And then yeah, when I was sort of back the second day for the opening again, I didn't want to spend a lot of money, so I took advantage of the pick and build wall, which was very well stocked. Got some parts from it out. There we go, there's another bag done. Not so many spare pieces in this one, just got a wee extra window panel, so just go and grab the next bag here. Bring back number 20 over where I'm at because there's only a small one. So just gets a wee bit more interesting colour wise here. Right, so first things first then, just putting in the floor space here then, so that's just a load of dark tan plate. So that does actually line up with align with the building above, albeit it's a stud higher, which is a bit annoying. I thought, you know, that would have been. I thought it would be nice if, I know obviously the two downstairs are sort of separate buildings, one being like an inn and the other being like a wee art studio. I thought maybe if the tops lined up it would have been good and it was just sort of a continuation of the kitchen, but for a moment it looked like they were going to, but unless it's a little step up, we'll see. Just if they're both at the same level, it would have been a bit more seamless. Right, okay, so this is a wee bit more interesting architecturally. It's kind of going back a little bit more to that sort of style that we've seen throughout the other buildings, with the wooden paneling kind of running horizontally and vertically through the build. Well, that's maybe what's going to happen. I'm not entirely sure, but it's definitely a little bit more interesting here. Guys, make sure to drop us a wee hello in the chat if you're just popping into the channel or on the stream. Let us know if you're building anything, and if you would be super kind, a little thumbs up would be really helpful. Help push my content out to other LEGO fans who might be interested in the build. Heck, you could even go as far as to subscribe if you felt like it. No pressure. Needless to say, I massively appreciate every like and sub. So, but yeah, don't be a stranger. Do say hello. Especially if you're in any way local, maybe you were down at the LEGO store opening yesterday. Be cool to chat to some other people that were, but don't really know sort of what the geography of my stream viewers generally is. Okay, yeah, so here we have it. It's just, again, just using these modified bricks with the forward facing studs.
Code.
And then it's just a little brick and a plate and a tile. It just kind of creates this nice sort of wooden paneling effect, the vertical panels. And then these all just kind of pop onto studs. There's like the sort of modified tiles with the stud on either side, and then these just kind of get popped into place and just creates that nice effect. Very simple, very easy to do, but looks really well. I'll let you have a wee look at sort of the complete wall once I finish it here. Just a couple more wee bits to pop in, and then we'll see it. And then it's just a wee bit of sort of a black trim then that runs across the top of it, and that, like I said, that sort of creates in that horizontal paneling effect. So yeah, that's kind of just how the wall then takes shape there. You can see just got the wee forward facing studs on this brick, then just a black plate, black brick and a black tile, and then you just get this nice effect then that continues throughout the wall of the build. That's the joys of sideways building. You can get some really nice designs and stuff in. If anyone's just joining in case you're wondering what set we're building, it's one of the Lego Icons sets from that range. It's the Medieval Market Square, set 10332. So we're a good chunk of the way through the build now. In fact, we'll probably get this finished on tonight's stream, which would be really nice, and give you like a wee sort of complete overview of how it looks. I started last week and I've got sort of one half of it built up. So there's like a little market square made up of buildings on either side, and thank you. Yeah, a couple of buildings on either side that sort of fold up into, like, you can maybe just see it in the background here, folds up to make this sort of more sort of complete building, or they can also hinge out to give you kind of a facade and give the impression of a slightly bigger area. And then we've got this little tree then that goes in the middle of it, and there are some other little sort of market stalls and like workbenches and stuff like that then, just to sort of add a bit of story and character to the build. So it's a nice little build so far anyway, and I definitely think it'll feature in my layout. Just exactly how, I'm still not 100% sure, but we can kind of work on that as time goes by. I just need to come up with some creative stories as to why my sort of layout would have a little medieval town within it. Maybe it's like a little, there's a place in Northern Ireland, the Ulster American Folk Park, and it's sort of a shout out to times of old, and it kind of recreates you know, like old sort of builds and scenes and stuff like that, and they have actors and stuff added, so maybe just have something along those lines. Right, just another sticker to put on here. I just want to make sure to get this on the right way, because the last one that had the clips, I put it upside down. And this little sticker then is just for the artist's house, so it's just got just like a little crest and banner with a couple of paintbrushes then on it. There we go. Martin Dindos, hello, how are you? Thank you for dropping by. So that's the little flag then, and that's just going to attach on the exterior of the building. alternatively I could hold it up to the camera. Can't get it into focus, but anyhow, can't be bothered with that. So, and that is the end of another bag. Fantastic. I'm ripping through these now. I've got a wee spare sword in that bag, which is great. Can't have enough swords. So bag 20 then, and then I've just got one little pile left. I think there's maybe 8 bags in it, so we're going good. Just gonna probably finish off the upstairs of this building then with a bit of additional detailing, windows and flowers and the like. And that has just brought me a little sweet here, so I'm going to eat this sweet and I'll go quiet for a wee minute while I'm sort of chomping on it. So. It's really chewy. That was a really big mistake. Can't say no to fruit pastel though. Even if it's the yellow one. Anyone familiar with fruit pastels, or even not familiar with them, the yellow one's definitely not the best. I'm sure some people maybe think otherwise, but just a couple of wee flowers in on this sort of little window box here, and that just pops into there. And then we've got some more really nice detail in here. So it's just done slightly differently. It's using like a combination of different sort of techniques to turn these bricks on their side. So in this particular instance, it's using these little bracket pieces with the forward-facing studs. And what this is basically doing is just creating like a window surround. And then it uses, it just sort of gives you that nice little sort of hint of black across the top. It's like a half of a plate thick, I think, which then will sort of line it up with the top of the window once the window's finished. And then it just keeps that nice sort of black detail running through it. So I've got a couple of those to build. 3 of them, in fact. This is all legit Lego geometry here. And I'll let you have a wee look at sort of what the end result looks like in a second. And I'll show you sort of prior to the window itself going in, just to sort of reiterate the sort of impact of what it does and how it works. And just love all these sort of wee techniques used to create interesting scenes. So yeah, there you go. So just with this here bracket here and the plate, and then the tiles underneath, you just get this lovely sort of continuity then throughout, and you get this nice little half plate line. And then obviously this creates kind of the surround for the window, which will just sort of pop down in, so it's really nice. And we'll just get the window done itself here. Again, just another wee sort of flower box outside the front of the window. And we can just add that nice wee bit of colour, and then you can see obviously how, well, you can't really see from there, but maybe you can, it just sort of flows across really nicely all at the same height then. Otherwise, if you put a plate on top there, it would be sitting too high because of the bricks turn sideways. So the bricks turn sideways are slightly different in height than bricks built up. Just to illustrate. So you can see they're like that's two 2x2s on top of each other. That's two 2x2s on top of each other, and then that's a 2x2 sideways, and you can see there that, you know, they're different heights, and that's if we were to put a plate on top of that there, you're still half a plate below the height of the two bricks. Sorry, that's not displaying really well there. So you just have to get a bit creative with brackets and stuff to just sort of get the sizes to meet up whenever you're turning some of the elements sideways. Okie dokie, so I've got this piece that goes on here. And then that goes in there. A couple of 2x2s in just to bring these all up to the same height. And then this looks like a little ladder then, which presumably takes you on up into the watchtower, which we'll be building up to shortly, I would imagine. I think the stairs obviously bring you up to this top floor, and then there's a little ladder then that's gonna sort of extend on up into the sort of the top section. Some lovely little arches and stuff, and just to finish these sections all off. And then a wee bit of plate across the top. That just kind of pulls it all together. It was all a wee bit flimsy prior to that, but then that wee bit of tape then, the wee bit of plate then along the top just sort of pulls the whole build together, gives it a wee bit of solidity. Whenever you have those little sections that are mounted sideways, they're obviously sitting, because obviously they can't sit on stud because the stud would sort of raise it up too high, so they sit on a section of tile. So they're a wee bit flimsy, but sort of whenever you connect everything down in, it sort of pulls it all together nicely. I'm just using some of the wee cylinder pieces there to create just like a nice wee sort of lookout window or something. This is just the final layer of plate then going across the top. And then another wee hinge brick then. So like I said, these buildings all hinge together, top and bottom, so that just holds the two sides sort of in place then at the top. And probably not far off being finished with the top row. There's no detailing in it yet, so I don't know, maybe if that's coming in a future bag perhaps. And then yeah, this is a little technique that I remember from the Len Knight's Castle. So it's to create sort of little slip windows, which I suppose would have been used by archers, I guess, to sort of protect them, but enable them to fire their arrows out through windows without any risk of being caught out themselves. And basically, you know, it's very straightforward in how it's done, but it's quite cool. So basically, it leaves a one stud gap sort of between the two sections. We plate at the bottom just to sort of create the foundation for the window, and then these are again these bricks with a side mounted studs, and then the tiles just clip on, and then that just leaves a half a plate gap, which just represents a nice little slit window. Okay, just a little bit left to do then, just to build this up. Just hose that all a bit tighter in place there. It was just a wee bit sort of flimsy. It was moving about a wee bit on me. And right, I've got some internal detail now. So this is obviously a little bunkhouse or something for the knights, presumably to sleep on. So we've just got like a little bed now that we're building. I think it's a bed. Yeah, we look at it once it's built. It's just a nice wee mini build here then that sort of just adds a wee bit of detail to the interior of the building. Because up to now there's nothing, well, barring a sword hanging on the wall. Very colourful bed. Unusually colourful in fact. There we go, so that's the little bed then. So, like I say, just a bright yellow bed with a blue base. Curious colour scheme for the knights, but and that just pops into that wee corner, and then it's just a nice wee table then alongside. And one of the last of our stickers then. Getting this, well, we still have a few left actually. There are not a huge number of stickers, 15 stickers in total in this set, which isn't an abnormally big amount, but it's enough. So number 5 then. It's just a little letter then with what appears to be a, I don't know what faction this is. Is it the Eagle Knights maybe? I'm not really great with the castle factions. I was never really into castles when I was younger, and this kind of passed me by in its entirety. So I know the Lion Knights, I know the Wolf Pack, a couple of the Forest Men, I know them, but I don't really know to whom, it's hard to see, is it? Yeah, for whom that relates. So if anyone does know, do let me know in the chat. Yeah, so it does look like a bird of some description on there, but I'm not entirely sure exactly what that pertains to. And that just pops in there beside the bed, so got a wee bit of internal detail, and it's not a huge amount, but it's something. Now lastly, we just got a door. Well, I said lastly, there's maybe another wee part of this, but we have a door to put on now. So let's just have a wee look at how this comes together. Dude, I love the brick built doors. They're just a bit more flexible. They can be a bit more creative and imaginative looking, and sort of more suited to the size of the build, or of the, because it's quite a small sort of gap for this door. And that just clips onto there. It's very high up. I've done it the wrong way around, have I? I have. Take that wee bit out. Otherwise the door will be popping out through the roof. There we go. So the door just clips onto there and just closes up nicely. And there's just a little bit of red detail on top and a wee bit of red plate. I've definitely messed something up. I've got bricks left over here that I absolutely shouldn't have left over, or certainly a brick gonna have to go back through and just see what I've missed. Oh, I'll tell you what it is. I didn't actually finish the door. Just a wee bit of tile detail, and then that was meant to go on that, which I missed. Oh, there's something else that I haven't put on, which presumably should be somewhere. I'm going to have a look for that. I've got a random sort of black or droid leg here, or not sure where that goes. Let's have a wee look back through and see. Okay, so I've actually missed a little light that goes on the wall. And then that goes up in there too. It's quite hard to get these bits up in here. They're sort of figuring in the corner, but and just a wee candle above the bed. Super. And that is the end of bag number 20. A few small pieces left there. I'm actually going to put the little painter into her little studio. I think just painting a shield or something like that. Alright, bag 21 then, so this will be the roof of one of these buildings then, or the top floor now. I think it's one of the roofs. So the roofs are all quite nice. They're all pitched. They're sort of semi-detailed. They're not. The ones that I've done so far, kind of a bit of a mix. Some of them have got quite a bit of detail on them. Others just a few little bits and pieces, sort of here and there, just to give the impression. So I don't know quite how they're going to materialise, but we'll get it built and then we'll see. Question then is what's going to be my next build. Anyone that's in at the minute, any Lego sets that you'd love to see built? Not saying that I necessarily have it, but in the event I did, I can maybe look at sort of working on that in my next one. Let me know anyway in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see. I do have a reasonably extensive collection, so there's a very good chance that unless it's Star Wars, I don't have much Star Wars, and I have zero intention of buying Star Wars. So if you want to watch Star Wars, then I'm not your channel. I was just thinking today about a couple of little builds that I want to start designing, sort of my own creations. So I own a coffee shop in my hometown, and the first thing I want to do then is I want to build my coffee shop, and then I just want to have like a wee sort of weekly series. And it's going to just so the coffee shop's called the Copper Lab, and I want to have a little series every week called a day in the life of the Lego Lab. So I just kind of want to build my coffee shop, and then just take something that has happened in that week, sort of in real life, and we just create it in my Lego Lab with a Lego minifigure, and just do like a little story or a little video or a little post about it. And then I have a friend actually who's opening an ice cream shop, and he sort of implied that he would love for me to create a Lego model of his shop that he can put in his shop. So again, I've said that I'll look into doing that. And then lastly, for anyone sort of familiar with Northern Ireland or Belfast specifically, or shipbuilding perhaps, there's a couple of sort of fairly famous cranes in Belfast that were operated by Harland and Wolff, and they're called Samson and Goliath. And they've been a staple of the shipyard for a long time, and they kind of tower above the city. They're huge, big yellow cranes. They're kind of like twins, and I've always wanted to build them in Lego form. So that's something that I'm sort of considering doing as well. So I do have a lot of sets to build through too, so it's just finding the time. But I'd love to at the very least get on to Bricklink Studio and start designing them on Studio, and then obviously I can sort of maybe consider trying to bring them into life. So yeah, I don't know how that'll work out, but it is something, like I said, that I'd absolutely love to do. But in the meantime, I'll just find the motivation and the time to actually sit and design the sets. And I'm not the most creative of builders. That's why I sort of do enjoy building sets, because someone's done all the hard work and designed these, and I sort of just like then taking the instructions and working my way through them. I will sometimes tweak the end result a little bit to kind of better suit what it is I'm trying to do with the set, or to make it sort of fit in a bit better, or maybe it's open back and I close up the back or something like that, but for the most part I'm perfectly happy to let other people do the building. I'll maybe sort of put that out to my viewers to see what they would most like to see me do. I haven't really talked about it too much, to be honest, because again, I think when you talk about something, you kind of have to do it. And I'm not sure my motivation is entirely there at the minute, but yeah, for now I just would really like to get this set finished and then see where it takes us. So I did think I was going to get this done tonight, but I'm not actually so sure I will. There's still... Oh, I've done that wrong. There's still a little bit to go. There's a few bags to go, and it is getting a bit later in the night now too, so I might do like one more bag after this one and then call it an evening there. Go. Alright, so we're almost finished the roof then on this side. In fact, we're pretty much done, so just the wee side bit to go on here. And a few of these. I don't even know what you call these pieces. They're funny ones. They almost look like feet or claws or something, or I guess it could look like little bits of rock work, or let me get that to focus. Yeah, but they're interesting little pieces. I'm not entirely sure what their name is, but they are very nice for creating this sort of appearance of a roof. Goes on the top, and then that's another bag finished. So we're getting through nicely. So on to bag number 22, and that's just going to build up, getting back to sort of building up this side again. There's only actually 3 bags left after this, so I'm sure I thought there was actually closer to 30 bags, but 25. And this is a lot more roof here. So this is presumably building the roof up on this side. It shouldn't hopefully take too long. So we'll see. I'll sort of play by ear a little bit here. I'll see just how we're getting on with time as we sort of progress our way through. if we can finish it tonight, then I'd really like to do that, but if not, we'll do as much as we can. It's all very quiet in the chat tonight. Don't be shy, folks. Say hello. Okay, what have we got going on here? 1, 2, 3, and then that's a curious looking little bed. 2, and then 2 bricks underneath. Is that right? Oh yeah, I see what's going on here now. There we are. I think that's just trying to create a wee bit of an upward slope there, you know, so that the roof can kind of step up rather than sort of go up too steep an angle. And then where does that go? Does that go there? There? No, that's not right. Something's not right here. That goes like that. And that goes like that, perhaps? I think that's right. Yeah, so it kind of goes up in intervals of 2 plates. So yeah, like I said, it's a funny piece, but it's really good for, it is really good for roofs. It has like almost like a bit of a thatched appearance to it, or like some sort of odd tiles. I don't really know how best to describe it, but it is quite sort of functional, sort of for these older buildings and for roofs. And I've got like that wee chimney then that's coming the whole way up from down in the painter's house, or painter's hut, or whatever you want to call it. Now we're just sort of building the roof up here with kind of line after line of, we have these 12 by 1 black plate, and then these sort of little sort of curved wedge pieces, and then these, I'm just going to call them roof tiles for ease, and then just sort of stagger up 1 by 1 then, and sort of kind of just step up. So it's quite a fairly simple way to create a reasonably authentic looking roof. And then we'll need to presumably do a wee bit down the other side, but I guess we'll get that in a second. I feel as though I've missed one. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I have. think I've missed a step in here because I've got one fewer roof piece than I should. That's kind of an easy fix. So it's this here one I've missed somehow. Yeah, last 3 bags remain in here, but they're reasonably substantial bags. So I don't know. Could have been on here now for like an hour and 15 minutes. So we'll just see how much we get done in the next 15 minutes, and if we can kind of wrap our way through enough of it, then we'll maybe look at getting it finished tonight. But if not, then it's just not enough left really to, for me to sort of stream the rest of it. So I don't know quite how I'll go about that, but kind of seems to always happen whenever I'm doing live streams. We're closing in the end of the build and I just run out of time, and then sort of when it comes to the other end, I don't have I don't have enough build left to sort of justify streaming it. I suppose I could start one build and finish another one. I guess that would always be a way to go about it. A bit of overhang there. I presume we have to come down the side of this building here as well. The second shape very nice. Here we're as good as finished, I would say now. Probably best left to do in this roof, and then we'll move on to the next bag, and like I said, I'll just play it by ear here. If we can get through it quick enough, then we'll maybe try and finish it, wrap it all up tonight. I don't want to sort of build through it too quick, because I find sometimes when I'm doing these streams and I build too quick, I make way too many mistakes. Goes on the top, and that just kind of finishes that roof off nicely. Okay, so we'll move on to bag 23. We've got our next minifigure and our next sticker. So this looks like that's a chap with a quill. And some sort of little booklet or something, so I'll have a look now and see exactly what it is. What it is he's writing to try and understand what this chap's role within the market is. Seems like quite an official gentleman. He's got a very nice outfit on. He's got a cape. I won't be putting the cape on him. I've sort of kept the capes separate for now. There's another minifigure as well that had a cape on. I don't generally tend to put the capes on, so I'll let you have a wee look at him though. He's only got one detail on one side of his face, so I'll pop his hair on as well. And yes, he's holding a little quill. I'll let you have a look at the print and stuff first, and then I'll do the little tie that he's meant to be holding and stuff. So there he is. This is our latest gentleman. So like I said, I don't quite know what his role is, but see some nice detail in there in the torso. A nice belt, nice collar, some buttons. And then he has the belt sort of flops down and continues onto his legs. And then on the rear, there's a bit of detail on his on the back of his torso as well. And he's got like a fairly aristocratic looking face, nice sort of twisted moustache or something there, and a bit of a beard and stuff to go. with it. Me oh my, I can show you the box, yeah. Let's see, the easiest way to do this, I'm gonna take the camera, I'll stick it on the ground. There you go. So that's the crappy lighting. So that's the box then anyway. So this is the bit that we're building over here at the minute. We've finished all of this. So getting through it nicely. Yeah, I was thinking I showed you before. Yeah, we're just finishing off the town square. Can't get this kind of back to where it was, the camera. There we go. Finishing off the town square, sort of down to our last few bags. So I think that's maybe our final minifigure, I'm not 100% sure. We'll see in a wee second. Just a wee sticker to apply here now. Yeah, do you know what? I really like it. I wasn't 100% sold initially. I like sort of the appearance of the buildings and stuff, and I like the sort of scene and whatnot that was set. But I just thought it was maybe a little bit shy in details, but kind of as I've been building, it has sort of developed into a more interesting set. There's a little tile he has there, so he's writing a little story. So this might be our local storyteller / bard, perhaps, I don't know, but this obviously a story about a knight on horseback anyway, so I'll just stick him over with all the other figures for now because I'm not really doing much with the figures at this point. Once I've got the whole build finished, I'll get it all set up and I'll try and create a nice little theme, or not a scene rather, with all the figures kind of represented in some shape or form. How are you keeping me, oh my? Hope you're good. Have you any sets that you would like to see me build next? As I was saying before, don't say Star Wars because I don't really have any Star Wars. But if there's any other themes or sets or anything you think you'd like to see, then let me know, because once I finish this here, which might very well be this evening, then I'll move on to something new. It's always nice to sort of get other people's feedback on things that maybe like to see. Right, load more of this sideways building again then. I actually have no idea what the next set I build will be. I've kind of so much to choose from, it's really hard sometimes. I have a suspicion as to what I may go for. Although having said that, there's a set that I got very recently, just recently received the Italian Riviera, the Lego Ideas set, and I really love the look of it, and I'd like to sort of, I actually was watching Brixie, who built it very recently, placed it in his city, and he did sort of a nice wee expansion to it, where he sort of extended out the sort of walkway at the front of the build, and then added a few additional buildings just to sort of, really sort of flesh it out and extend it, and I think he did a really good job actually. It was really nice. It kind of inspired me to maybe have that a little, because again, in my layout I want to have lots of little towns that all have a slightly different purpose and role. So I want to have a little medieval town, I want to have like a proper big city, and like a little sort of British style village, British Irish village, and then I was thinking maybe like a little sort of Italian Riviera style town, and sort of using that set as kind of the foundation and building off from there. So yeah, when I saw his work, I thought, no, do you know what, that kind of lends itself really well to being sort of built that one. Okay, so this is quite good. I'll let you have a look at this here. If I can bring it over. I've just built this little section here with a sword, and when you pull it out, it reveals money. So it just gets pushed back and hidden up in the loft there, out of sight of anyone that might be tempted to make off with it. Nice little touch. whenever sets have kind of like little sort of Easter eggs and hidden things in them. You know, the designers really do go to town sometimes and come up with some really interesting, unique sort of ideas. Quite like that. That's really good. It reminds me of some of the older modular sets, you know, where they have like lots of little random bits sort of built in, particularly like the detective studio and stuff like that, and you know, where there's wee passages underground and, you know, little like barrels that are rolling about and stuff being hidden. And then I think it was in the police studio one, or the police station rather, there's again little there's little areas of the build where I think crooks are sort of making off and stuff, and it's quite nice how they build all these wee sort of fun things in. I do have all of those modulars to build as well, incidentally. They're not on for my agenda at the minute. Sort of plan to maybe do like a little series where I go through them all one by one. Some of them I'm really looking forward to, actually, especially some of the newer ones. Alright, so just a wee bit of internal detailing to go in here then, so we have another bed here. Bright and colourful bed, I must say. I really like their bright colourful beds in this medieval time. This one's a really bright blue. Very opulent quilts. Okay, where's this go? Make sure I'm putting these all in where they're kind of designed to go. There's a wee water bucket here, and it would seem that the water has fallen out of the bucket. Oh crud. Stuff falling out of everywhere now. Oh, great. I don't know if I can get this wee bit out. Oh, there it is. Stick it back in the bucket. I don't know where that wee leaf came from. I'm gonna just stick it into the wee pot in here. It's hard to get into these buildings because the roofs aren't sort of built sort of akin to the modular buildings where they kind of just lift off, so you're kind of having to poke a wee bit to get down in. So that's something that I may consider changing to this set. Once I've built it, I might excuse me, I might look at just tweaking the roofs so that you know, they're a bit easier to lift off, and it's just a bit easier then to get access into the sort of various different mini builds and stuff on each of the floors. Sorry, as you're building up, because obviously, you know, you have to put that top layer on, so you know it's easy to access, but sort of as the building sort of closes in itself, it does get a little bit harder. Right, so we've got another sticker going on here, and this is another faction that I don't know. I'll show you this in 1 second. I'll put it onto there. So I don't know if you can see that terribly well, but it's like it looks like a dragon, maybe a dragon knight. Are there dragon knights? Anyone familiar with the castle theme and the various different factions, do let me know. Dragon Knight sort of sounds like something that there would be. And this wee table then just goes back. Oh dear. Table just goes back against the wall here. I didn't actually finish the back of the bed properly now that I look at it. A bit of detail missing. I did think it was very unfinished looking, but that looks a lot better now. And that wee stud goes on top there. Okay, and then we just need to do the next few bits of wall here. So again, just same again, just building these wee sideways sections with the bricks, plates and tiles on the sideways mounted studs. Stormy Cube, how you doing? Thanks for dropping by. What do you think of this build? Okay, and then just our little windows to go in here. So we're probably through the bulk of this section, and then the next back doesn't look too big, so we're just going to persevere here, I think, and try and get through this. Four windows to go on. Try and change that viewpoint a wee bit because it's not super easy to see there, is it? Nice wee silver cup hiding up there. And another bit of cheese. There's cheese all over this build. Obviously the cheese maker has been very productive and has been sharing his wares with everyone. So there's like just throughout a lot of the little sections of the builds, there's just little wedges of cheese hiding all over the place. Wouldn't be remotely surprising if they had a mouse problem then, would it? Alright, and here's the final two stickers coming up, so that's good. At least we'll be able to put the sticker sheet away for the remainder of the build. And they're kind of creating two nice window hatches then for that front window. So I'll just pop the remainder of these tiles on here. And then I'll do these two window ledges. Forgot to put the quill in on the wee writing table. It's not going to be so easy to do now. I suppose we can take the table out and break everything while I'm at it. Alright, so two stickers left then. Now, how do these look? So that goes on the inside, so I want that nice and tight to the inside. Wicked, that's good. I'll just see. So that'll go there. It's the same both ways up, so it shouldn't matter too much. And then the final sticker, ta-da! And that goes there. So there you can see it's just a wee bit of design to the sort of exterior of the windows there. Those kind of nice wee shutters. So those are two pretty darn well placed stickers if you ask me. And that takes us on to our penultimate bag then. We did have one more bigger in here. This is definitely a figure that I'm familiar with because I was kind of army building these for a while for some reason. They were appearing like frequently in the pick-a-brick wall. So I did pick up a few of them. This chap's got a moustache. I'm going to keep his moustache off for now just to let you have a wee look at him in all his glory. So that's the front of my neck. So this is the Lion Knight. Then you can just see the torso printing and the leg printing, and he's got sort of a nice sort of straight face there, and then he's having an absolute blast here. A bit more printing on the rear as well. But he does actually have a moustache on, so I'll pop his wee moustache on. Just give him the straight face. Right, okay, so that's him then with all his wares on. So he's got his helmet on, and his spear, and his nice moustache. So this chap then is going to be up top of the lookout tower, keeping watch over the market. Then we just need to finish the wee sort of slat window that we started before. So it just kind of just a wee brick and a plate then just sort of hanging beneath another plate, and then that just creates that nice wee split, and it connects that all up. You can just see there. So yeah, that plate just drops down in on top then and just connects them all up together nicely. Sort of building up the watchtower here by the looks of it. So there's a wee ladder then that leads up, which we sort of had built previously. I don't know if our chap that we just built, if this is where he hangs out or what. It just seems like a bit of an odd place to be stood with a spear. He's not going to be terribly effective, but a bow and arrow might have been more efficient from up atop here with these wee tiny windows, but we'll see when we get to the top. Maybe there's an open top or something that he kind of works out of. And then again, just using these wee brackets and some of these sort of rounded bricks then to create sort of a nice, sort of more open window effect. Close that all in with bricks. These pieces here, I don't really know what you call these here wee pieces, but they're really nice. They just create like a nice sort of design and effect, that wee sort of curvy sort of appendage there from the brick. A little arch over the top, and that's a nice window. I'll hold it up now in a wee second and let you have a nice look at it. Okay, that's wrong. That's a little bat hanging from it on a clip. yeah, that's kind of that nice little window there. So you see just the wee sort of curved bricks on the brackets, and those nice little sort of design pieces there, and then the arch over the top, and it creates a nice sort of arched window. Just finish the chimney off there. Chimney, rather. A bit of smoke popping out of the top of it. The painter's obviously hard at work. I think they're melting down something to create a different colour paint, perhaps. So if that's even a thing, I don't know. Ooh, it's going to take a second. Just got lots of these 1x1 bricks with forward facing stud, and these sort of little, I don't know what you call these, they're like sort of curved plates. Then just creates a nice effect around the top of this tower here. And then we've got the ones in with the studs on not opposing sides, on 90-degree angles to one another, and that just allows you to add that detailing on the corner then as well. I'm sort of popping these on fairly quickly at the minute, so they're not necessarily the straightest, but just want to wrap this build up tonight. And I'm really running out of time, so but we're so near finished. Okay, just the sort of top of the tower to do now. It's just a bit of brick the whole way around. A bit of masonry for detail. And second level. And then just these nice curved pieces then go the whole way around, just to soften off the whole top and just give it a nice detail. And we've got the yellow and red flagpole on top. Just clips onto the side then. That is that bag finished. So I've just got this one last bag left to do. So, you know, in the interest of completeness, I want to just get this done now. So I'll just pop this bit on the top. Make sure that's all connected. And that's looking really good. So there you go. That's the watchtower completed anyway then. I think that's really nice. Here's the best pieces are falling all over the place here when I close it up, but that looks good. Okay, so let's crack on to bag number 25 and the final bag of the build. I'm actually going to pop this gentleman up here. I don't know how he got there. I think you have to use your imagination. And then I think this is essentially just a little sort of bit of external detailing and the roof element. And then that's what's done. I think there's like a little sort of tree or something maybe built up the side of the watchtower. I know we did do a wee bit of work earlier on where we put in, you know, what is the impression of maybe like a sort of a bark or something like that. So just going to slide this over the way a wee bit, and then we get built in here and try and get this done now. that'll be another build down in there. So I'm getting through the builds nicely now. Sort of went through like a period there where I wasn't really building anything. I was still buying plenty, but just wasn't really particularly in the mood to do a huge amount. So my backlog, which was already big enough, grew even more. So it's just nice to actually get building a wee bit here now as well. There's some fab sets that have come out recently, and they're all just sitting there sort of looking at me. So. This is just sort of being like the other roofs, it's just sort of building up in like a step fashion. Just to create that nice wee pitch for all these bits to go onto. Guys, anyone just tuning in, we're sort of approaching the end of the build now, but we're just finishing off. So it's a Lego icon set, set 10332. It's the medieval market square. So we started this on stream a couple of nights ago, so it's like the third stream of it, and we're just about finished. We're on to the last bag, so once I get that finished, I'll try and do a very quick overview of it all, and it is getting quite late, so I do want to get finished up. We'll just give a quick sort of overview of the entire set in its entirety. And yeah, that'll be that. Sort of happy to get finished. It has been an enjoyable build for the most part. Like I said, the level of detail it's okay. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily the best. The internals of some of the buildings are quite small, you know, so they're not necessarily chock-a-block with detail. And it is, like I said, it can be presented as a you know, selection of closed back buildings, but you know, there's this one for example, there's buildings on either side that are completely different buildings, but they have no backs on them, and when they close over, it sort of one closes onto the other, so you have like half of an inn on one side, which closes over onto half of an art workshop on the other side. So obviously you can't see that when it's all closed up, so it's not absolutely not a deal breaker, but if you're in any way sort of panicky or fussy about sort of the internals and how they look, then that mightn't sort of necessarily sit to your taste. But again, you know, there's freedom to get creative. You could sort of build all of those wee sections out, and you know, because like I said, it can be presented open back and sort of all hinged out. So you could close all the buildings off if you wanted to, and then you'd have, you know, 4 sort of much more substantial buildings that would sort of help create a more complete scene, I suppose. But I like the way they've done it, because it sort of saves a bit of space as well. You know, it means you can have these full buildings without them taking up a huge amount of sort of real estate. Sometimes, you know, if you're building layouts, space is at a premium, you know, so if you can sort of get a lot more detail into a smaller space, and it's not such a bad thing. But I know some people don't like sort of that open back, so I appreciate it won't be everyone's taste. And then yeah, I think the size is also somewhat of a hindrance toward the level of detail. It's not that it's lacking, but you know, there could be a lot more in it. So we're just kind of finishing up here now. I guess it'll be the end of the roof, and then there's just a wee bit of external detail then. I think we've got a wee tree then that goes on this side, just to add a bit of detail onto the side of the watchtower. And then we'll have our little market square. All these roofs too, just kind of, these roofs are all, these two are removable to give you access to the buildings, but these two are both firmly in place. This one looks like it's just going to sit on top and can be removed. So, hey Anakin, how are you? You're tuning in on time to see the very, very end. I'm literally just finishing up the build here. Oh, awesome. How's the weather in Cornwall? How long are you on holiday for? Oh, cool. Did you have a good time? I've never been to Cornwall, but I hear it's lovely. Okay, so that just clips in there then. And then we just have another little chimney to finish off here, and then by golly, we have finished. So that last bag didn't actually take too long at all, thankfully. What time is it now? So it's 10:15, so it's late enough. I think my phone is just about to die too, battery wise, so hopefully I get to the end of this. Should be alright. If the stream does just randomly go off, then that'll be why. Okay, so I wonder what like a couple of beards here, and I was thinking, what on earth are we doing with beards at this stage? There's no minifigures left, but they've actually used the beards as bird's nest, which is a new one on me. Ben 10, I am so nearly done, man. I am so nearly done. Just there's about 25 pieces left. That's the it's hard to see there, but that's the beard as a bird's nest. Maybe looks less good there as it does whenever it's actually connected onto the side of the building. It's quite fun. I think the trees when it gets sort of built up around it, and I think when the trees sort of in place, it'll make a bit more sense. I've been to the beach a couple of times, but I can't stand sand. No, I'm not a big fan of sand either, but you know what? Sometimes you just have to suck it up. I'm not really a big sand person. I'm not really a big water person, but we were up on the north coast of Northern Ireland there, a place called Portrush 2 weekends ago, and the weather was just absolutely stunning. And you know what? Sometimes you just have to, unleash your inner child and sort of embrace the cold, so to speak. But I had an absolute blast, and my kids, they love the water. In fact, sometimes I feel like they're at their happiest when they're in water, even though I'm not really a water person, so they definitely didn't get it from me. Do you know, some of these bits are really figure and hard to get in. There we go. So that bird is, for the most part, hidden now. When the sort of foliage and trees sort of goes up around it, you can't really see it. So it's quite subtle. All that work to create that funky beard, and you can't, or not funky beard, to use the beard to create the funky bird's nest, you can't even see it. Go figure, right? Well, at least you admit it. Sometimes that's the first step, is just accepting that maybe we're just a little bit irrational and we should just have fun. You're sticking around for the end of this. I'm sort of down the last few pieces here, so Just a couple of wee plant pieces to put on here, and then I have a little tree, and then I don't know what this next thing is. Where's the tree? The tree goes there. And then yeah, last section. Then I don't know what this is. It's got shields and whatnot on it here, so I'll work it out in a wee second. Is that it? Right, I've missed something, but I know what it is. I haven't finished the roof. I've missed a whole section of the roof. I just realised. So I think this is just a wee shield stand or something. I think it just sort of props up like that there. Maybe. Yeah, so we've just missed the roof. I haven't sort of capped it off. Didn't wonder why I had all these pieces left over. There we go, and then these just alternate every other two. And that's us done. Hallelujah. Excellent. That's another build finished. Right, I'm just gonna set this up here, and then I'll try and work out the best way to sort of take you through it. I'll bring all the various bits and pieces over and all the minifigures, because for the most part they're just kind of sitting sort of randomly. They're not sort of put in any buildings or anything. Maybe stick him there. Pop her there. And then he can just be standing. You know, he can be standing by the tree, just reminiscing something. Right, I'm gonna take the camera off my little. Yeah, the thatch trees are class. I love them. Yeah, it's one of those things. The beach, you just have to suck it up, don't you? Like I said, I'm not a sand fan either, but you know, sometimes you just have to embrace it. Right, so this is the set then in its entirety, fully finished. So we've got all these wee mini builds in the middle here, so I'll just show you these first, and then I can move them out of the way. So we've just got this. I don't know, it's obviously some piece of woodworking equipment. So we've got that. Then we have the cheesemonger, or whatever you call him, the cheese man, who has his little stall for selling cheese, croissants, bagels, and whatnot. At the front, we have just this little sort of rack for chopping wood and a hatchet. And then we have this little cart. I thought there was a cow that came with this, but obviously there isn't. I have this cart then for just transporting bits and pieces around. Just a little table. So this is the woodworker, and you can see there that they have been working on a chair design, and here's a chair. So we've got these two little bits here. And then lastly, there's just this other little sort of like a little weapons bench or something here. And then we did build that wee stand for shields as well. So that's all the kind of wee mini builds there then that came with it. And then, like I said, we have this little build here of the tree beside the water with the little frog and stuff. And then there's the Beware dragon poster, and then around this side we've got a couple more posters then as well, which you can maybe see. hard to get to zoom in. Yeah, there's a couple more wee posters there anyway. So this is just another nice wee mini build then that kind of sits in the middle. Just to create the scene. And then, okay, so this is one side. So on this side, we have, in here, we have the little hut that the tapestry maker's in. So she's obviously been making this nice piece here. You can see all the rolls of yarn and stuff in the back there. And then there's a little kitchen in that corner there. You can't really see it. We've got this little tower here, which I think belongs to the blacksmith. You can see around I'll show you around the front in a wee second. So the roof does come off, and you can see there's, oh, the lighting's crap there. You can just see there's a wee winch in there, so he can winch stuff up to work in his workshop. And then here we have, so this is the cheesemaker's little hut. He's got the little cat in there that's keeping away all of the mice, and he's working away on all sorts of cheese. Okay, and the roof lifts off there, so you can see down in, give you a bit more light. So that's pretty cool. And then out the back, you can just see we've got this nice little area with a tree, little trough. And we've got a squirrel and a goat. And then there's a nice fence in that continues the whole way around. And then on the front, we just have the front of the buildings again. This one's got a nice brick built door here. Thanks to DJ, it's a cool set, I have to say. And then we've got all of the roofing. Like I said, these two roofs left off. And then again, just a wee section over here with some fruit, veg, and a little beehive. So that's that. And then this is the bit we built tonight then. So there you have the watchtower on this side. Like I said, with a nice detailing up the side there with a tree. And there is a little bird hiding in there. And then if I open that up on the inside, the bottom, we have the painter working away here on a nice blank canvas. And this is a little room upstairs, and presumably for the knight who's in the watchtower to sort of take a wee nap and have some rest. Then on the other side we have an inn on the bottom. We've got the keg and all here, a little chess table, and the little bench in the corner. Upstairs we have the kitchen, and there's lots going on in the kitchen. Bread, crab, turkey, you name it, all being cooked away on the stove there. And then up at the very top there's this little room then with another bed in it, and this little secret compartment in there hiding the money. And then that all closes up. So you got the frontage to the inn there, which I think looks fantastic. This side's a bit bland actually and doesn't really make a huge amount of sense. And then obviously we've got that side as well, so I think we can all agree that that's a very cool set. So, but that kind of wraps me up anyway. I think I've been on here for quite long enough. Just really happy to get that all finished. I'll just move all these mini builds over. And then, sorry, we have a few minifigures that I forgot about here. So we have this little chap here. We've got this woman here who I think is the carpenter. And then we have our member of the wolf pack here with his crossbow. So he's probably coming in to cause some bother. And that's us. So once again, thank you very much everyone that tuned in. That's another build complete. I thought you'd I actually thought everyone would have got a load of Obi-Wan Kenobis, to be honest, because he is quite similar in Lego form. But good spot. Well done, Anakin. But yeah, that's me all wrapped up anyway. Thank you very much for tuning in. Remember, give us a wee like and subscribe if you want to sort of catch up some more live builds going forward. I try to do a live stream every Friday night where I build something new. We'll be picking a new set next week because obviously this one's finished now, so I'll put that one out to vote at some point. But have a good weekend anyway, guys, and I'll catch you all next week. See ya.